Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner, this is not an excuse, and I'm not offering it as an excuse. But I wanted to add much more to my affidavit, but the time constraints, and that is actually something that even as I will admit to you, as I was going through my affidavit, wanting to add more information, that wasn't at the top of my list. But as you frame it to me, it should have been in there. But I asked the Commission to understand that I did ask for a later date because my supplement, my affidavit would have a lot more. There's information in here that some of it pertains to your scope, some of it doesn't, but that I wanted to put in here. And unfortunately,
Mr. Adams, you had an extra week. Remember, you submitted an affidavit late Sunday evening. You came here on Monday. We couldn't deal with your evidence. You were given a week and a half to come on Wednesday this week. So you had a week and a half to add this. You must have known all along that the reason you are being called to this commission is these cases that you opened in Cape Town and Orlando and how IDEC took over your case. So that is crucial information that you did not mention in your statement. And even as you were giving evidence yesterday, you did not mention it until you were confronted with it and you had to correct your evidence this morning. Now that is problematic.
I understand your situation, my situation, Commissioner.
But is there any reason why you did not mention it yesterday? Let's assume for a moment you did not have time as you were preparing your statement. Yesterday, when you were going through your statement, what is your reason for not mentioning that actually, when I got to Orlando, I contacted Elvis, we met somewhere else, we then traveled to the police station together?
It was an oversight on my part, Commissioner. It was, like I said, I was underprepared yesterday, and I admitted that, and I actually asked the advocate for an extra day, and I was told I wouldn't get it. So I was not prepared as you would want me to be, or as I would want to be. And for that, I can only apologize.
Can I suggest that it's not the subject of an oversight when you sit and say, I took an Uber from the airport to Orlando. You can't the following day say, oh, I went to Elvis's tire shop the following day, and we traveled together in a maroon motor vehicle, Mercedes-Benz. There's no oversight. It's a completely different story. And as you told it yesterday, that I took an Uber and I landed at Orlando and I met Elvis there, you would know as you're telling it that, but that's not what happened. You've conjured up a story. You've come up with an explanation what happened that day. It cannot be an oversight, this change of your story. You chose to tell a version. The best you could do is to say, I don't have any recollection of that day, and try to make sense of what I did. That's why I told you a different story. It's not a matter of oversight. And I want to put a proposition to you, but do you want to comment on what I've said now before I put my proposition to you?
No, Commissioner, I do not want to comment.
What I want to suggest to you is, when you look at what you tell us happened, the facts of General Lincoln at the airport, he's the one that said go to Orlando. When you are at the airport, he's the one that said to you, call this number. And this happens to be a crime intelligence person who, as Commissioner Kumalo pointed out to you yesterday, happens to be the same person that dealt with Mr. Mkhosi, Mr. Matlala. There's that connection. And you tell us, General Lincoln gave you his contact details, you know he's a crime intelligence person, or even if you didn't know, you meet him at